All right, guys, welcome back to Real Estate 101. You guys know the drill. My name is Brandon from Vegas. We are in the studio today, so thank you guys for your patience with me today. For those of you guys who are new here, introduce yourself. My name is Brandon from Vegas. This is real estate class number 547. For the past 4 years, I have taught a free online real estate class right here on TikTok. We only have 3 things that you need to know. 1, class is at 10 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. 2, the education is free, so are the likes and shares. The education is free, so are the likes and shares. So all we ask you guys is if I teach you something you don't know, that you like and share the screen for us. This week, we are gonna be teaching you guys about equity. Hi, Brandon. How you doing, sweetheart? I can't see you guys' names from back here, but I can read what you guys are writing, okay? Can everybody see the screen? Are we good? Awesome. This week, we're gonna be teaching you guys about equity. Do you know what equity is? Let's start there. Let's start there. Do you know what equity is? Let's start there. We'll do bigger letters. We'll do bigger letters. Let's see. Do you know what equity is? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? The value that your house gains as it gains appreciation. That's a specific answer. You're getting close. Who can tell me what equity is? Give me your guys' best guesses. Give me your guys' best guesses. Do you know what equity is? Let's see. Let's see what you guys know. Paid for versus worth. That's actually a great way to go by it. Paid for versus worth. Paid for versus worth, okay? Paid for versus worth. That is a perfectly succinct explanation. What did I pay for something versus what is that thing worth, okay? Let's give you guys the most obvious example in the entire world. Let's give you guys the most obvious example in the entire world, okay? Watch this. I buy 10 shares of Amazon stock for $100. Okay, let's say we're going back to like 2019 or something like that. Okay, I buy 10 shares of Amazon stock for $100. Amazon's stock goes up to $400. How much equity did I make? Okay, this is the most basic example of equity that we can teach you guys, okay? You buy 10 shares of Amazon stock at $100. Amazon stock goes up to $400. How much equity did I make? Let's see what you guys are good at. Let's see what you guys know. This is the most basic example of equity. Let's see. Someone said $3,000. Someone is very smart. Goku. Oh, Goku. Not only do you fight, but you do math. Goku, you are 100% correct. Okay? You bought 10 shares at $100 or $1,000. They're now worth $400 or $4,000. So you paid $1,000. You're now worth $4,000. Your equity is $3,000. Does everybody understand this? Does everybody understand this? This is the most basic form of equity. It's the easiest one to explain to you guys, okay? Does everybody understand this? Can we move on? To me, using stocks of Amazon is the easiest way to explain equity. It is. Right? Because you can use big round numbers like this, and it's something that everybody can understand, right? You buy shares of Amazon, Amazon goes up, you make the difference between what you paid, okay? Now, What if I told you guys real estate works the same way, but you have to invest less money? Real estate equity works the same way with two major differences. One, you get to invest less capital. And two, you get 100% equity and asset. Okay? The difference between investing in real estate and investing in the stock market is these two things. You have to invest less capital in real estate. And number two, you get 100% of the equity and the asset. Does everybody understand what these two things mean? Does everybody understand what these two things mean? Remember, don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed if you don't know something. This is Real Estate 101. Our goal is to teach you guys. A lot of these things you guys were never taught in public education. You went through middle school, high school, and some of you even college, and no one taught you the fundamental basics of equity and real estate and investing. They don't teach this anymore. What do you mean less capital? That's a great question. Thank you for asking that, okay? So here's what I mean by less capital, okay? Let's say your stock market investments return 10% yearly, okay? So let's say you have a stockbroker. Let's say he's making great investments for you and he's returning you 10% of your yearly investment. Okay, how much would you need to invest each year to return $20,000? Okay? Let's say your stock market investments return 10% yearly. How much would you need to invest each year to return $20,000? Who can give me an answer? Let's see what you guys know. Let's see who paid attention in Mathematics 101. If I wanted to make 20% equity yearly, how much would I need to invest? $200,000. Good job. I would need to invest $200,000 to make $20,000 at a 10% yearly return, right? Okay. This is where real estate, to me, is a better low-risk investment than the stock market. Because if I wanted to make $20,000 in real estate, to make $20,000 equity in real estate, I would need to buy a $400,000 house. Why? The average American house is returning 5% equity for the American public. How many of you guys knew that? Raise your hands. How many of you guys knew that the average American house was returning 5% equity for the American public? See, we are the children of the real estate crash. So you guys grew up thinking that housing was a risky business. You guys grew up thinking that real estate was a risky business, right? Because you're the children of the real estate crash. So you guys grew up thinking that housing was something that crashed and lost value all the time. It's not true. The average American house returns 5% equity year over year. If you're in places like Miami, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New Jersey, or Las Vegas, right now, a lot of these places are returning 6, 7, 8% equity year over year. If you're in San Francisco, you're hitting as high as 10% equity. Now, why is this important? Well, if I want to make $20,000 in equity on stock market, I have to invest $200,000. If I want to make $20,000 in equity on real estate, I have to buy a $400,000 house, right? The down payment, the smallest down payment on a $400,000 house, the smallest down payment on a $400,000 house, are you guys ready for this? Veterans can pay 0. FHA loans can pay 14,000. Conventional loans can pay 12,000. Did you guys know that? These are the 3 smallest down payments for a $400,000 house, right? The veterans can pay 0 down payment with their VA loan. The FHA loan can pay $14,000 at 3.5% down. And if you qualify for a first-time home buyer conventional loan, you can pay $12,000. Now, here's where things get even better with real estate equity, okay? If you want to continue making $20,000 a year in the stock market, you have to keep reinvesting your initial amount, okay? If you want to continue making your $20,000 per year in the stock market, you need to continue investing a large sum of money. If you pull $200,000 out of the stock market, you're not going to keep making $20,000. This is where real estate has an advantage because guess what? After you put your initial down payment for the $400,000 house, that's it. You pay a mortgage, sure, but you were going to pay rent anyway. Your house will keep making that 5% equity. Do you guys understand? This is why real estate is the ultimate financial weapon of the middle class, because you don't need to keep reinvesting large chunks of money into real estate. Once you make that first big down payment, your house starts generating equity by you living inside of it. In the stock market, in the stock market, what happened? We disconnected? Let me try unplugging and plugging back in again. I was on a roll, guys. I was on a roll. Let's see. Hey! Oh! Hey! The old unplug it, plug it back in method. The old Nintendo method. All right?
Blow the cartridge.
Blow the cartridge, okay? In the stock market, you have to keep taking a risk. You have to keep risking a large sum of money to continue returning your investment. Now, do not confuse what I'm saying with telling you the stock market is bad. Investing your money is a smart thing, but I believe investing your money in a house first can allow you to invest in the stock market more freely. What I mean by that is it's easier to keep pumping, it's easier to keep pumping $10,000 to $15,000 into an investment account when you know that your house is generating equity year after year after year. Does this make sense to everybody? So, for those of you who are more visual learners, let me show you guys what equity looks like on a number basis. So here we go. You buy a house for $400,000 in an area that your realtor shows you is strong for equity gains. Okay. This is your realtor's ultimate job, okay? Your realtor's job is to not open doors, okay? Your realtor's job isn't to show you houses. You guys can look at houses on Zillow. Remember that. You guys can look at houses on Zillow. Your realtor's job is no longer to show you houses and find you houses. You can do that on Zillow. You can do that on an app. Your realtor's job is to make sure that they are putting you in a house that is gaining consistent equity. So if you're in Las Vegas, you want to move to places like Summerlin, Green Valley, Henderson, Inspirada, Centennial Hills, Sky Canyon, Aliante. You want to move to places where your money is returning value year after year, because this is what it looks like when you're gaining consistent equity. This is what it looks like, okay? So you buy a house for $400,000. After 1 year, we've gained 5% equity. So now we're at $420,000. Would you guys like to know the best part about equity? Would you guys like to know the best part about equity? Equity is compounding. What that means is each year you're getting 5% of the house's value. So after year one, you got 5% of 400,000, right? But now going into year two, your house is no longer worth 400,000. It's worth 420,000, which means now you're getting 5% of that. Who can tell me what 5% of 420,000 is? To make it easy for you guys, 10% is 42,000. To make it easy for you guys, 10% is 42,000. What is 5%? Let's see what you guys got. 21,000. There we go. So 5% equity. What? I'll just bring a different HDMI next time. Is it at the source maybe? You guys, apologies. It's our first time doing it in the conference room, so we're having some technical issues, but don't worry. We're just going to power right through it, okay? So 5% equity of 420,000 is now 21,000. So what is your house worth after year two? What is your house worth after year two? After year one, it was worth 420,000. What is your house worth after year two? There you guys go, 441,000. Now, remember, you get 5% equity of the value of the house. So what is 5% of 441,000? What is 5% of this? What is 5% of 441,000? Oh man, if I even like flick the cord a little bit, it's gonna like spaz out. It's okay, I have backup HDMIs at the house. And next time we can just screen share to this, right?
Yeah.
I can screen share to this. What kind of TV is this?
The Samsung bit.
Let's see.
You wanna try that?
Samsung Series 6?
Yeah, try it.
Which one is it? There's two.
I don't know, let's try one.
Guys, give me 1 second. We're gonna actually try to switch to screen share because the HDMI cord keeps kicking out.
Nope. Try the other one.
It's not that one?
Yeah, try the other one. Try the...
It's showing that it's linked up to it.
There you go.
Oh. What's the code? Oh, it won't show me the code because I'm AirPlay to it.
This is stupid. I'm gonna have to bring my own TV.
Hold on, what's the
Smaller TV.
AirPlay code? Oh, it's not even that TV?
Not even that TV.
Okay.
It's not even another TV. I don't even know where that TV is.
It's okay. We are clearly not going to be dropping this episode on YouTube thanks to the technical difficulties, guys. Thank you guys for staying with us as we transition to a new studio. I appreciate that, you guys, okay? So, what is 5% of 441? Damn, it is just really pissed off at me now. What is 5% of 441,000? What is 5% of 441,000? Let's see who can tell me. Who can tell me? What is 5% of 441,000? 22,500, okay? So what is our house worth after year 3? What is our house worth after year 3? Who can tell me? What is our house worth after year 3? What is our house worth after year 3? We went from 400,000 to 420,000 to 441,000. What is our house worth after year 3? 463,500. There you go. Now, what you've seen is 3 years of equity has gained you around $63,000. 3 years of equity has gained you around $63,000. Would you guys like to know the best part? You didn't have to make any additional deposits or reinvest any large chunk of money. You bought an asset that you are currently utilizing. Do you guys understand? Investing in real estate, investing in a business, the reason these are such strong equity gainers for the middle class is because you're investing in something that you are going to utilize anyways, and that thing is gaining you equity year after year, right? You were going to live in a house regardless. Why not live in a house that also makes you money? When realtors try to talk to you guys about renting versus buying, they never get to this part, the part that you guys care about, which is the freaking money. What you guys care about is the money. And yet when realtors try to explain to you guys why renting is so bad, they never get to the money. Why you're buying houses is because your rental property isn't gonna make you $60,000 in 3 years. Your rental property might cost you $60,000, but your rental property isn't going to make you $60,000. So when I say real estate requires less capital, do you guys understand what I'm saying? But where is the spot in Vegas that locals don't want you to know? Well, if I gave you that information, all the realtors who follow me to steal my information would use that information. So if you're genuinely interested in where you should buy that we don't tell other people about, reach out to me directly. If you're rewatching this on YouTube, I have a contact information in the description. If you're watching this on TikTok or Instagram, I have a contact bio I have a contact form in my bio. If you're genuinely interested in places in Las Vegas that gain equity, go to my bio, fill out the contact information, and I will go over with you step by step, okay? So, does everybody understand why real estate has a less capital investment? Does everybody understand why real estate requires less capital investment? When you invest in the stock market, if you want to make $20,000, you would need to invest $200,000 for that 10% return. Whereas in real estate, your smallest down payment is 0, 14,000, and 12,000. Does that make sense? See, you asked a very good question, and what did I do? I gave you a very good answer. You see how that works? All right.
It's called leverage.
It's called leverage. Now, the next part of real estate that you guys need to understand is you get 100% equity and asset. You get 100% equity and asset. So let's go back to your stock of Amazon. If you buy, hold on. Let's go back to your stock of Amazon. If you buy 10 shares of Amazon, do you get to tell Jeff Bezos what to do? Do you have any control over Amazon? Let's start here. If you buy 10 shares of Amazon, do you get to tell Jeff Bezos what to do? Do you get any control over Amazon? Yes or no? You buy 10 shares of Amazon, are you able to call Jeff Bezos and talk to him about Amazon shipping? Do you get any control over Amazon by investing 10 stocks? By investing 10 shares? Do you have any control over Amazon? Yes or no? Guys, this is a classroom. There's over 140 people in here. I'm gonna need more than 2 responses, all right? I'm gonna need more than 2 responses. We need you guys to engage. Just because I'm sitting back here doesn't mean I'm not looking at the screen. Don't get lazy on me. Don't get lazy on me. Don't do that. We worked really hard today. Don't get freaking lazy on me, all right? If I buy 10 shares of Amazon, do I have any control over Amazon? Does Jeff Bezos listen to me? Yes or no? Not at all. Hell no. Hell no. Well, guess what? Guess what? When you put down 3% of a house's value, you still get 100% of the asset. You get full control over the house, okay? This is how I like to explain it to you guys. Even if you put down 3% of a house's value, you don't have to live in the basement. You don't have to live in the attic. You don't have to live in just one bedroom. Even if you put down 3% of a house's value, you still get 100% control of the house. You can paint it a different color. You can change the grass. You can add a swimming pool. You can change anything you want about that house as long as you abide by HOA regulations and your state and local regulations, right? So even though you only put down 3%, you retain 100% control of the asset. More importantly, you retain 100% control of the equity. Do you guys understand what that means? Even though, oh man, it keeps going back to 96%. Even though the bank is loaning you the money for the house, they get 0% of the equity. You keep 100%. This is the most important part of home buying that I need you guys to understand. Even though the bank is loaning you the money for the house, they get 0% of the equity. You keep 100%. This is why real estate is so valuable, especially for the middle class. You retain 100% control of the house and you also retain 100% control of the equity. This is huge. This is like if I invested $300 into Amazon and Jeff Bezos let me tell him where to send his Amazon packages. Matter of fact, would you like to know why real estate is even better? Imagine if Jeff Bezos loaned you $400,000 to buy stocks of Amazon. I'm going to repeat this again. Imagine if Jeff Bezos, whatever, he's rich. Imagine if Jeff Bezos loaned you $400,000 to buy stocks of Amazon. Imagine that, right? You'd be like, holy crap, this is crazy. Well, guess what? That is what buying into a house is. Someone loans you money to buy the house. You keep the house, you keep the equity. All you do is pay them interest on the loan. If you're renting right now, it's time to hurt your feelings a little bit, okay? If you are renting right now, it is time to hurt your feelings a little. Now, if you don't want your feelings hurt, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to leave. Okay? Listen, I'm a man of the people. I am not here to hurt anybody's feelings on purpose. If you are someone who is fragile up here, if you need your safe spaces, if you don't want to have your feelings hurt on a Tuesday, we're going to give you 10 seconds to leave. That way we don't have any complaints. Okay? So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I gave you a chance to leave. So if you stuck around, don't talk to me. Don't rage at me. Don't tell me your feelings hurt. I don't want to hear any of your rage. I gave you a chance to leave. If you are renting right now, I just taught you how your landlord rips you off. If you are renting right now, let me show you how your landlord is ripping you off. I just showed you guys with equity how it works. Your landlord borrows money from the bank to buy a house. He then charges the interest to you as a renter. Hey, renters, let me tell you something. Not only are you paying the mortgage on the house, not only are you paying the insurance, the taxes, not only are you paying all of that, you're also paying off the interest from the bank. That's right, renters. You're not paying rent. You're paying the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, and you're also paying the interest that the bank is charging your landlord to buy the house. So if your landlord is getting charged $200 to $300 in interest, all he's doing is putting that on the rent and you're paying it off. Yeah, you're helping your landlord pay off his mortgage faster. That's what you're doing. Let me show you guys how this works. Your landlord borrows money from the bank to buy a house. He then charges the interest to you as a renter. He keeps all the equity. How do I know he keeps all the equity? Raise your hand if your landlord has ever given you money back at the end of the year. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if your landlord has ever given you money back at the end of the year. Raise your hand. Let's see. Raise your hand if your landlord has ever given you money back at the end of the year. We're going to see 0 hands up. We are going to see 0 hands up. You want to know why? Because your landlord would never do that. Your landlord would never do that, ever. The reason I'm trying to teach you guys about equity is because I need renters to understand how much money they're losing. You guys are convinced that because you're paying $400 to $500 less than someone who bought the home that you're winning. And I need you guys to really understand just how badly you're losing. Because not only are you paying your landlord's interest, but he's keeping 100% of the equity. The reason you guys don't care is because no one has taught you what equity is. I'm going to repeat this again. The reason that renters are so comfortable renting is because no one has ever taught you what equity is. If you guys saw how much money your rental property was making per year, you would probably stop renting. Like, I'm being real. If you were a renter and at the end of the year, your landlord came to your door and he said, look at this. We made $23,000 in equity this year. Thank you so much. And you'd be like, well, can I get a piece of that $23,000? And he'd be like, no, in fact, I'm going to raise your rent. You would probably stop renting on that day. Let's keep it honest. If your landlord showed up to your door at the end of the year and he was like, look, we made $20,000 in equity on this house, I'm raising your rent. I'm raising your rent. You would probably stop renting, wouldn't you? That would probably make you angry enough to stop, wouldn't it? That would be the day, right? Because you're all looking for that. You're all looking for that big emotional moment where you finally decide to stop renting. Well, let me tell you this. If you knew how much equity your rental property was making for the landlord, and then he raises your rent, even though he's making $20,000, $23,000 off of you, that would probably be the moment that you stopped renting. But because no one teaches you about equity, and because your landlord is never going to be the one to tell you, you guys just keep paying off that man's mortgage year after year. All right, guys, welcome to Equity Week. We are going to be teaching this all week, all right? I know a lot of this hurts. It sucks to realize you don't know jack shit about how the world works. Trust me, it was a rude awakening for me, but I don't want you guys to have to suffer and keep going along not knowing how any of this works. So keep coming back.